another view from the van with Paul from Magpie 24/7. Driving strong opinions on everything Newcastle United. Magpie 24/7. By fans, for fans.
How's everybody doing? It is Paul from Magpie 24/7. It is match day. England playing the Czech Republic at Wembley tonight. And yeah, here's a little bit of recording I made as a preview earlier today. Living in people's headspace, rent-free. Take care, and I hope you enjoy the preview. Yeah, so it is match day 3 already. The group stages come to a conclusion with England playing the Czech Republic at Wembley tonight. Looking forward to the game. As it turns out, in the end of things, it actually is going to be pretty meaningless. Last night, courtesy of the results that happened, it was actually confirmed that England would actually finish, even if they were to lose tonight, no lower than third in the group and would qualify as a result. However, there still is a lot to play for this evening. England need to get some momentum going. They need to get some form. They need to make a few changes, I think, on the playing personnel. And in doing so, hopefully securing a win tonight at Wembley will make sure that England remain at home for the the next stages of the competition, which could be crucial, obviously, with things opening up. With the possibility of more fans being able to get back into Wembley, that could give us a massive psychological advantage when it comes to playing whoever we draw in the next round of the competition. So, yeah, despite the fact that qualification is assured, it is imperative that England get the victory tonight. And I think Southgate has a lot of things to be able to answer for, to be honest. I think he bottled certain decisions. I think the occasion got to him rather than playing the game when it came against the Scots, taking nothing away from the performance and taking nothing away from what Scotland did. I thought Scotland were absolutely fantastic. They were passionate, and if they had a decent striker, they would have won. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But yeah, looking forward to this game. Southgate needs to hold his nerve. He really does. There's some big calls, and I just hope that he's big enough to be able to make those decisions and play players who are playing in form and not rely on name value. I thought Sterling in particular in the last game, I know he scored on the first game, but he wasn't brilliant then. It then comes to the Scotland game, and I thought he was absolutely atrocious. And I made the comment on social media that he was Christian Atsu 2.0. And that is exactly what he reminded me of. I was sitting there screaming it all, especially the second half, as he aimlessly wandered and meandered around the pitch, offering and giving England very, very little in terms of attack and flair. He flopped to the ground for a penalty, which was never a penalty in a month for Sundays. And better is needed of him. He had a pretty bad end of the season with Manchester City, and that form has continued on. And this is what, to me, where you need somebody with a bit of nous and a bit of backbone, which I just personally think Southgate hasn't got. I think he does need to make changes tonight to freshen things up. But I don't think he will. I think he'll go for the tried and trusted. I think Kane will be in. I think Sterling will be in. To me, I'll quickly run through the team. I think Jordan Pickford, wee arms. I don't think he's done anything wrong in the England shirt this tournament, so I see no reason to change the goalkeepers, and the quality probably isn't there if you were to change anything to give Jordan Pickford a rest, say. So I think Pickford, he comes in, he keeps his place, absolutely fine, no problems with that. The central defenders, this is where I think you could perhaps make an argument for a change. Harry Maguire is fit, he was fit for the Scotland game. Do you bring him in to give him some minutes under his belt in what is realistically a match which there is a little bit of wiggle room, because even if we lose, we would still go through in the competition. I think England need Harry Maguire back, in all honesty, because I think Tyrone Mings plays a lot of long balls forward, which I'm not a particular fan of, to be honest. So I would like to see Harry Maguire brought back in. Will he? Has Tyrone Mings done that much wrong in the tournament? Probably not, but it's just a preference maybe on style over anything else. So I would personally bring in Harry Maguire. Apart him, I thought Stones was, again, he's done nothing wrong in this tournament. He come closest of any England player to breaking the deadlock at Wembley against Scotland, and it could have looked so much different if he had have made the breakthrough then. So I think there's your centre-back partnership. We have got some COVID issues, so where you might have wanted to bring in the lad from Leicester, Chilwell, you're not going to be able to make that call, unfortunately, COVID regulations and such. So I think on the left-hand side of defence, he's going to have to maintain and persevere with Luke Shaw. You're looking at specialists. I don't really want to see a right-back played there like you did with Trippier. I like square pegs, square holes, round pegs, round holes, that sort of thing. So I'd play Luke Shaw. I don't think you're going to go too far wrong there. He won't let you down. And then on the right-hand side, Trippier. There probably is an argument as well for Walker coming in there. I know Southgate likes him, but to me, Trippier, he knows what it's like to win. And again, personal preference, I think I'd prefer Trippier down the right-hand side. In the midfield, there's going to have to be changes, obviously Mount and etc. I don't think Declan Rice has done anything, but again, I think he will play. I think he will start. And then it's who do you put beside him. Jude Bellingham, I thought, came on and did really well in the game against Croatia. So perhaps you bring him back into the midfield, and then Grealish sitting in front of him, which I think, based upon what he's done recently and the excitement and the positivity around him, why not? Why not throw him into the midfield mix and have him there maybe as a number 10, looking to cause damage, for the Czechs in those pockets of space. Then either side, and this is the thing, I think he will persevere with the likes of Raheem Sterling and co. But to me, Jordan Sancho, for what he's done in the Bundesliga this season, with all the transfer circus that is around him at the moment, people wanting him left, right and centre, that's for a reason. So I would play Jadon Sancho one side, with all of his assists, his tricks, his goals. I'm surprised he hasn't had any minutes so far, but I would play him one side. Up top, this is where it gets tricky because Harry Kane has been Mr. England for so long. But again, you're looking at form, and he had a terrible opening game, dropping way too deep. Not doing anything in the box, which is where you need him to be at his effective and to be at his best. He needs to be in the box, getting shots away and such, and he's simply not done enough. So I think there's a huge call and a huge shout out at the moment to make a change there. I honestly can't see Southgate doing it, to be honest. But it's who do you bring in? We've got a lot of options there, and I think you're going to have to go for the lad from Everton, Calvin Lewin. He will stay further up. I know that there's arguments with Rashford, putting Rashford in, and he brought him on as a substitute, didn't he, in the last game? Because I think he wanted him literally a little bit further forward and not dropping so deep. So there's maybe an argument to put Rashford in there, but for me, Calvert-Lewin would be the way to go. And just to really give us an absolute focal point up the top, and to let some of the speedier and nippier players get around them. Yeah, and the other option, the other place, I think is a no-brainer. I don't think he's lit the tournament up, don't get me wrong. But he's certainly been full of energy, full of enthusiasm, and he's certainly offered a lot more than what Harry Kane has, and that is Phil Foden and his fancy haircut. I think it's a no-brainer to continue him and to continue his international education out on the other side. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the England team. As for who we could play, it is more complicated than a bastard IKEA flat pack. It really is. And and there's whole sort of connotations around about where we could be playing. But I think the important thing is we need confidence, we need a flow, we need a style, we need a few goals just to get the fans back behind the team and believing that we can go balls deep, as it were, into this competition. You don't get this sort of analysis here on Sky Sports. But yeah, dependent upon who progresses, I've just got up the teams that we are able to meet, and by certainly is no mean a walk in the bloody park. They could either meet Holland in Budapest, Group B winners Belgium in Seville, or the winner of Group E, which it could be either Sweden, Slovakia, Spain, or Poland. So it could be any of them. Personally, for me, I'd love to go up against Sweden. You know why, don't you? Or Slovakia, because of the Newcastle connection. I think Sweden, any team with Emil Kraftin has got to have vulnerabilities, shall we say. Slovakia, be interesting to go up against Martin Dubravka, of course it will. Some of the other teams I would not want to play at this stage, certainly not Spain. Poland, I think, are beatable on their day. They've got obviously quality players. And Holland, nobody's talking about Holland, but every time you watch them, they've got good players. And that is no easy game. Nobody's talking about Netherlands. Nobody's really talking about Italy as well. And I keep looking at these things thinking, why is nobody speaking these up? Because they're playing decent stuff. So yeah, it could be any amount of different permutations. If England lose and then Scotland manage to leapfrog us and all that sort of thing, we could be pushed down into third place and get a much more difficult thing. So I think the basic message has to be from Southgate, regardless, get the victory and get us at Wembley, at home, because there's also the prospect as well of the percentage of fans allowed into the stadiums. That's going to be increasing as we progress through the competition. I think Wembley's going up to around about 50% capacity for the latter stages of Euro 2020. So around about 40,000 fans-ish. Again, you've got to take every advantage you can. I know it's not Euro 96 with a full packed house and very, very partisan and against the opposition and stuff like that, but still 40,000 fans in, the majority of which would be England supporters, would have to put off a lot of the teams coming over. It can only be a positive for us. But will Southgate be ballsy enough to make a few decisions? Will he persevere with Harry Kane? Yeah, of course he's going to. Like I said, I'd make changes. And if Harry Kane does play, it needs to be drilled into him. It needs to be coached into him. Stay in the box. Give their defence something to worry about. Stop dropping so deep, because then it just allows the opposition defence to push up a little bit further. It compacts it. It makes it a scrappier game. You need to spread it out a little bit more. Stop relying on pinging balls up to him. Try and work it around him. Get some of these little tricky, nimble wingers which we overloaded the squad with. Try and get some of them into the game more. So a Jadon Sancho, definitely. A Foden, definitely. Get these players around, and then try and get a couple of goals. Entertain the crowd. Get some positivity going, because I think everybody's gone a little bit flat after the Scotland game. We went in and we were quite impressed, not with the performance against Croatia, because again it wasn't overly dissimilar, but we got the victory, and that papers over so many cracks. No more excuses. I still think Southgate shouldn't have been the man to lead this competition. He's got such a talented pool of players, and he hasn't even scratched the surface with them in this competition. And there can be no excuses for England, with the personnel that he's got, not getting to the latter stages at least, or potentially winning Euro 2020. There's no excuses whatsoever. It's another case. It's like with Newcastle. If Newcastle had a better manager than Steve Bruce, I believe that with this group of players, adding Willock obviously, that we're capable of better in the League Cup. We're capable of better in the league. We're capable of maybe 10th or something like that, pushing into that top 10, which is a big jump from where we are at the moment, which is relegation fodder, fighting against relegation all the time. With a better manager, you can see those little extra improvements and then extra little wins here and there. Looking even down to your Joe Lintons and stuff like that. I honestly think if we had a better manager, you would see a better Joe Linton. If we had a better manager, you might see a better Jamal Lascelles. If we had a better manager, yeah, they get that extra 5 to 10% out of him. And it's the same with England. What's Southgate done? Manage Middlesbrough, manage the under-21s. It's not the CV of somebody who gets the England job, in my humble opinion. It is not. It should have been given to somebody who'd done the tour, who'd gone around Europe, who'd studied for all the badges in the world, who'd brought success to various clubs. Like you say, your Bobby Robson, that sort of model. You've done your apprenticeship, you've done, you might have done the Football League, you might have done the Premier League, you might have gone around Europe a little bit and done some of that. Instead, they've tried to be young and modern and hip and this, that and the other and get somebody from within. And it to me, it doesn't work. What experiences has he got to call upon when things are getting difficult? When you're looking for those 1 or 2 extra % to be able to win a game when it's tight, what has he got to? Nothing. What? Eating a Parmo in Middlesbrough. That's probably it. It's not qualifications enough to me to be a national manager, and certainly not the national manager of England, a country who should expect to be at the latter stages of every major competition, not just this one. But we've got to stop thinking so small and minuscule, in my humble opinion. But yeah, regardless, England are through to the last 16, so no doubt he'll be typing that up on his CV as we speak. But just like in the World Cup, when we played nobody and then got knocked out when we played the first decent team, he has got to dig deep. Use Jonesy. Hey, it worked for Bruce. Use Jonesy. He'll say you're all right. Anyway, Carol will be back with a review of the Czech game, the result, how it went, qualification, who we play next, where we play next, the route to the final maybe even. So Carl will be coming up with that all shortly. I'll be Paul, living rent-free. I wish I was. In the meantime, stay tuned on all of our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. We have launched that. There will be more and more content coming to the page over the summer as we gear up to the new season. Please hit the bell, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It's been a really, really good start, a positive start, but we'd like to get more people, more eyes on the new Magpie 24/7 YouTube page. So yeah, appreciate each and every person who's done that, and for everybody who's going to do that, thank you. And like I say, ongoing support across the rest of the socials is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely crazy. Every day you go back on, everything's growing, everything's doing so well, and we just like to thank you for that. Lots of good stuff planned for the summer, even after the Euros comes to a conclusion, which hopefully will be a conclusion with England winning a major honour. That would be fantastic. But yeah, lots more to come after the Euros has finished. Anything else breaks, takeover wise, signings wise, especially Joe Willock wise, we will bring it to you just as soon as possible on Magpie 24/7. Appreciate it. Keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.